Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com. This is episode 15 of Photoshop for Photographers. In this episode, we're going to do a composite of someone with curly hair. Now, you probably remember in an earlier episode I did a composite and I used the quick selection tool to take a lady that was in a bikini and put her in a beach scene. Well, as you might imagine, that if she would have had curly hair like this model here, that quick selection tool would have been useless. It would have been impossible to really select in between all these strands of hair. So I'm going to show you a different way to do a composite and a different way to select a model, in this case, off a background when that model has really difficult hair. In this case, it's curly hair. Now, there's a lot of folks that use channels to do this, and channels work great. I do it a little bit different. I think it's a little easier my way. So I'm going to show you my way instead of using the channels method. If you're interested in channels, just if you search on YouTube for doing a composite with channels, I'm sure you'll find a lot of tutorials on how to do it. And then you could use whichever is easiest for you. So what I want to do is I want to take this model off of this white background and I want to drop her into this living room scene right here. So what we're going to do first is select the model. And what I do is I use a selection tool that a lot of people don't pay attention to in Photoshop. It's called color range. So you go up to select color range and you can see this dialog comes up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the background. We really want to select her, but it's easier, as you might imagine, just to select the background. And the way you could do it is one of two ways. You could just click right on the background here, and you could see on this little dialog where it's white is where you're selecting. Or you could select right on this little postage stamp size area here. I actually prefer to do my selection here because I could see exactly what is selected and what isn't selected. So you could click. Now as you can see, as I click around, it's just replacing my selection with where I currently click. So I'm not really getting anywhere. So I want to add to the selection. There's two ways you could do it. You could go over here to this icon here and just click this middle icon. You could see it's like a dropper with a plus sign. That means you're going to be adding. Or you could just hold the shift key in when you do it and you could see the cursor turns into a little plus sign there. So we're just going to click around here and we're going to keep adding to the selection. And we're just going to make sure that we get as much of that background perfectly selected as possible. I'm not really worried about, you can see how I've got her face selected and things like that. One thing I should add after I do this, so I'm just going to keep clicking around and make sure that I have everything around her selected, is I found with curly hair models that the fuzziness around 100 and the range around 100 work well. Do not click detect faces and leave localized color clusters checked, and we're going to be sampling colors. So as you can see, I just held the shift key in and I just kept clicking all the way around her. So whatever is white is 100% selected. Whatever is black is not selected, and whatever is in between is kind of in between selected. So we're going to correct for that in a minute. Now as I mentioned, we just selected the background. We really want to select the model. So we're just going to go over here and click on this tick box, invert. Now we have the model selected, at least most of the model selected. We're going to click OK. Now what you're going to come up with is selection on your model, and you can see these marching ants. So don't worry about that right now. As I mentioned, we're going to correct that so we have all the models selected. Right now though, we're just going to go down here and put on a layer mask by clicking this icon right here. It's kind of like a rectangle with a circle in the middle, and that will create a mask. And as you could see now, it totally removed the background, but it also has some of her face removed, and we want to fix that. So the way we could do that, if you look at a mask in general, it's black and white. And if you paint white on a mask, you'll be selecting whatever is behind that mask. If you paint black, you'll be omitting whatever is behind that mask. So all we have to do is make sure we're clicked on the mask. So don't be clicked on the actual image. Oops, excuse me. We don't want to click on the image. We want to click on the mask. and we want to use a brush. We hit the B key to select a brush. Make sure your mode is normal, your opacity is 100%. Make sure you're using a hard brush. Go all the way here and make sure your hardness is all the way up. And you could increase or decrease the brush size by using the bracket keys on your keyboard. The left bracket key makes it smaller, the right bracket key makes it larger. And we're going to want to paint, as I mentioned, in white. So over here, if you do not have black and white indicated in these color swatches, you have other colors here. Hit D on your keyboard. That will put the default black and white swatches here. We want white as the foreground color. If you do not have white as your foreground color, you could click right here and it will switch them, or you could hit X on your keyboard and it will switch them. So we have white as the foreground color. We're on the mask and we're just simply going to be painting white. And as you can see, as I'm just scribbling, now I'm going to do this very quickly. I expect that you would want to take your time and go a lot slower and more. Whoops, see, I went a little too far there. You want to go, whoops, I made another mistake. We'll fix that in a minute. Well, we'll try to fix it to our best of ability in this video. As you can see, I'm trying to go as quickly as possible because of the video. As I mentioned, you're going to want to really take your time and do a good job. Unlike me, what I'm doing right here. Okay, now, see how I went over here? So I really have some of the background, the white background selected. Well, all I have to do to unselect that is paint in black. So I'm going to switch my color swatches so black is the foreground color by hitting the X key. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to paint in black. That's kind of a lousy job, but we're going to switch back to white. Just do the best you can. And as I said, take your time. For the sake of this video, I'm going as quick as possible. Now, it looks like I have the model. Well, I have a little spot here. Let me get this. I'm going to switch back to black. I'm going to get a really small brush. Looks like I went overboard over here too. Okay. Now, it looks like I have the model pretty much selected, but I'm going to double check my mask by holding the Alt or Option key in. It's Alt if you have a PC, Option if you have a Mac, and I'm going to click on the mask itself. And you can see that I could see the entire mask now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm still going to paint on the mask. I'm going to paint in white, and I'm just going to get all these spots up in here that should be totally white, that aren't showing totally white. Now I do have some of these spots in here that, you know, where there's, you know, you could see the background through her curly hair. I'm going to avoid those. I'm just going to be painting around those best I can. And again, as I belabor the point, I'm really going very quickly. So I probably should pause the video and do it the right way and then come back on, but oh, what the heck. We'll just do the best we can. Okay, I think I have her selected fairly well now. So I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key and click on the mask again to bring her back. Now, what I want to do now is I have the original image and I have a mask. I really would like just the image without any background. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold the Command or Control key in and click on the mask. And what we will do is, if you could see the marching ants, it created a selection again. Now I'm going to click on the image of the model. So we're not on the mask anymore, we're on the image of the model. And I'm going to hit Command J. If you have a PC, it's Control J. And what it did is it created another layer with the model separated from the background, and that's what I wanted. Now she's ready to move over to the other image. So I'm going to get the Move tool, and I'm going to grab her, and I'm going to grab and drag her up to the other tab, bring her down here, and just drop her on. Now, you can see she's a giant, so we have to resize her. So I'm going to hit Command minus to shrink down my image. If you have a PC, you would hit Control minus. Now I'm going to hit Command T to go into transform mode, so I could get these handles now and resize her. Again, if you have a PC, it's Control T. I'm going to grab one in a corner. Now I don't want to misproportion her. So if I just start dragging, I can make her skinny or heavy, or I want to keep her in the same proportions. So just hold the Shift key in as you drag in from the corner, and it will hold proportion. And we're going to maybe like that. And then we're going to drag her down maybe over here like that. And then that's good enough for now. We're going to click the checkbox for OK. Now I want to bring this a little bigger, so I'm going to hit Command or Control 0 to bring that up. Now it's a pretty decent composite, but you could see it looks a little kind of crusty around her hair. So we're going to correct for that. Make sure that you're on the layer with the model and go up to go up to Layer, Matting, Defringe. Have it 1 pixel. Now I'm going to click OK, but I'd like you to look right in here. So I'm going to click OK, and you can see like magic, it just brings back all her hair. Now you can see through these little gaps in her hair, you could see the background. I'm going to move her around just so you could see that it's a really nice composite. You could see, like, I'm trying to bring this lampshade so you could see it's being seen through these little gaps in her hair. So, and then you can just place her in there. And that's it. That's how I do a model. That didn't sound right. That's how I composite a model that has curly hair. And I use the Select Color Range option. I do not use channels. I think channels take a little too long, and this is a lot quicker. So I hope that helps you guys. Do a composite with a model with curly hair. By the way, these images were courtesy of dollarphotoclub.com. So I'd like to thank them for making these images available to me to do these tutorials. That's it for episode 15. Thank you everyone that watches all my videos. I truly do appreciate it. If you guys have time, please subscribe to my videos on YouTube. Thank you very, very much. I'll talk to you guys soon.